Hello, welcome to a discussion about supervision for healers. What's it about? I am Dr. Sue Mason. I am Director of Omnes Healing and co-chair of the Confederation of Healing Organisations.
My name is Craig Rebuck. I am a trustee for Sylvan Healing Sanctuary. I'm also co-chair of the Confederation of Healing Organisations. I'm a practicing healer, a Feldenkrais teacher, and a meditation practitioner.
Hi, I'm Delcia McNeil. I'm the chairperson of the Association of Therapeutic Healers. I'm a practicing healer and supervisor and counsellor, psychotherapist, and I'm also an artist.
Hello, my name is Linda Bishop. I'm a psychotherapist and counsellor and also a healer and a supervisor.
And hello, I'm Teresa Lehman. I'm an ambassador at the Harry Edwards Foundation based in Sheer in Surrey. I'm a healer and also a coach supervisor, working with individuals and groups.
Okay, thank you everybody. So what is supervision?
I'll kick that off if I may. It's an opportunity to discuss client work and also possibly to learn more about healing, maybe from the lead supervisor, or if you're in a group, from other healers as well. It's about professional development, where you can explore also personal and emotional responses to clients and the work that you do with them. It can help you maintain ethical standards and continue in your growth and competence across years. Also about safeguarding yourself in the work and your clients. So in all, it's an opportunity to reflect and to consult with colleagues. And what it is definitely not is management. It is about sharing your worries, your concerns, and learning as you go.
I love that, and how it was described to me when I was learning what is supervision, because it's such a funny term, isn't it? Supervision. My supervisor trainer from Henley Business School said to me, well, I like to view it as giving you supervision. So bringing things into, a wonderful safe space where it's being held for the greater goods for both yourself and the industry and, the professions that we're all working in. After a supervision session, I always feel much more clearer, maybe calmer, maybe more balanced. So I love that kind of idea of supervision.
Yes, yes. It's almost like you can put a hyphen between super and vision.
Yeah.
And the WhatsApp group that my small supervision group have, they like to use that. They put a hyphen in between the two words.
Excellent. Yeah. So what are its benefits? I think you're proposing that it's something for qualified healers, but what are the benefits? We've found out what it is, but what are the benefits of supervision?
So my first experience with supervision was many years ago when I was in a counselling training, and I experienced the collegiate relationship between those that were sitting in supervision and the supervisor. And really, it was an opportunity to talk about my experiences in relation to the client in a safe space. What do I do? What's it feel like? What's happening? How am I able to discuss about this client that I can't talk about it with my family because it's private? Here is a space where I could have an opportunity to share some feelings and see what else is not actually being spoken about. So from my perspective, it was an opportunity to reflect, review, and to support my experience and practice as a healer. Even though my first experience was through a counselling training, I then took that into the supervision work as a healer.
Mm, mm.
That's great.
Yes, because
Any,
one of the things we want to, well, that we're looking at in this group, isn't it, is uh, what might our healing community need in terms of supervision that might be different to other forms of supervision that take place in the caring professions. Like for me, I had supervision when I was a social worker many years ago, and then of course in the psychotherapy and the counselling world, it's just built into the work. You wouldn't consider working with members of the public without it.
Mm.
It's just built into your training and
Mm.
your understanding of what your work is about. So we're kind of looking at well, healing, there's crossovers here, but healing is also in and of itself brings different experiences for people that then they need to manage
Yeah.
in their practice.
I think you're so spot on with that as well, in that there's certain conversations, even though I'm in, I'm a group supervisor myself, I'm in peer-to-peer supervision within the coaching profession. And whilst that's amazing and, really helpful for when I'm coaching, there's certain things as a healer, I just wouldn't feel that it would be perhaps not so much appropriate, but it just wouldn't be the same as bringing it to people that are in this profession, in the profession of healers, that would have that hold the space in the way so I can share it very freely in the way that I'm experiencing it. So this is very much a much needed group, I think.
Mm,
But
mm,
if I may, I think it's really important to name some of those things. So for me, coming into supervision within healing was being able to talk about my intuitive awareness, the things that psychically may arrive that I
yeah,
don't have a language for, and
mm,
bring it into the space whereby I'm saying, well, I'm feeling this, or I thought I heard this, and I'm taking a risk by bringing it forward. And the more I do that, the more I feel competent. And then I'm sharing it within the environment of a supervision in order to know that it's appropriate and it's not my imagination, or that it is part of
mm,
the work. So
mm,
that for me was the important piece, that within the professional aspect, that I could talk about healing with its unusual attraction, if I want to put it in that term. Maybe
mm.
somebody else can just fill in some of that gap.
Well, I've got words written down here in front of me, and a couple of those that come up with what you're saying, Craig, is it reduces isolation, because I think we can feel really lonely sometimes, particularly if you work in your own private practice like I do from home. It's absolutely great to be in a group of like-minded people from time to time, and to be able to feel that I can say things that some others might consider woo-woo for want of using that word, but I can share it with a group of healers and it's accepted as credible experience.
Yeah,
So there's a discomfort that you overcome by being in a group of healers.
yeah, yeah. And saying in a group, a lot of what we do with supervision is in groups, but it can also be on a one-to-one basis as well. Um, yeah, or with peers, or sometimes, or we pay for supervision. There's lots of different formats in which we can access and receive supervision depending on what we need and what we want. But I think that acknowledgement that we take metaphysical experiences seriously is what makes healing supervision different to mainstream kind of supervision situations. Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you. Is there anything that anybody would like to add before we close? Okay.
I'd like to kind of perhaps share a little bit about how could it be beneficial even more to the healer. So somebody that might not have experienced supervision before, and they're, healing. And I think Delcia, you share this a lot with different people.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I always want to say about support for healers is that we're often working with people who the medical profession, for instance, can't help anymore. People who are at the end of their rope, end of their tether. That means that we might be meeting people who are emotionally very distressed, or quite chronically distressed as well, or chronically ill, in pain, suffering, and they can't find help. They often come to a healer as a last resort. So that's very heavy potentially in itself. And I think we need support from our colleagues to manage that, to manage what the feeling of responsibility that we often might feel. And often, I think in my experience of the healing world, we often feel we've got to give even when it's not right for us. So that whole self-care element of supervision, I think, is very central, because a lot of us are in this world because we care an awful lot. And we want to rescue people. We want to take them out of suffering. We want to take it away. And of course, often we can't. We can help, but then those whole boundaries around how much we give, I've met a lot in the healing world. And that can be time and time management, very practical things as well. But also, obviously, how we manage our own energies, how we disengage from our client, how we look after our own energy, both before and after sessions. And that's as well as what we might be, just feeling on that very personal level or personality level. We may be asked to give healing to someone who we really don't like, we're not sure about. What do we do? How do we manage that? There's often conundrums that come up in our work. And so having a place where we can reflect on that and talk about it and get clear, I think it's absolutely essential.
Yeah, very much. Very much. And yeah, to be held within that space of people that understand and can relate, I think it can be very useful for processing things, offloading in a way, and helping reset, rebalance, because residues can build up, right? So how are we resetting, reframing things in a professional way, and maybe not, relying on friends and family for doing that. So this is a lovely channel, I think, for that, as well as, it could help reduce burnout, like you were saying, Delcia, and just helping awareness. So what is needed, what are we learning and growing as healers through our experiences too, and maybe seeing things taking a moment to reflect and step out of the day to day and look at it from a different perspective can all help with that processing, integration, resetting, rebalancing, all those fine words.
One other example that I've just, sorry, one
No, I
other
was going to
example
say,
that I've just,
Linda, yeah.
thank you. One other example that I've just thought of that can raise all sorts of difficulties with people trying to work through something on their own is if a client comes to you and presents a difficulty that you've gone through yourself. And so it can immediately, and particularly if it was recent for you, then it can be sometimes really, really difficult to stay in an empathic state when your own stuff comes up. And if you can take that into your supervisor or into your supervision group, then you have a place to put that and process your feelings, and you come back in a much more self-contained way to your client in the next session. And that's where support is really important again, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments that these wonderful experts would like to share with people? No.
I would only just add that if you are a healer and you think that supervision is useful, it's a supportive thing. Many other professions use it. I think we've got a real opportunity here as a community to create something very special and useful for not only us, but for generations to come.
Yes, we have a questionnaire for people who are receiving supervision at the moment. And if you are receiving supervision for healing, we'd love you to get in touch so that we can send it to you and get your thoughts on it, because it's something that we have thoughts about developing within the healing community. Last words, I think Craig was just going to say the last words there.
So I wanted to thank this group that since we have started working together, we've brought to light the subject of supervision and recognizing that we're holding an umbrella for the whole community, and we want it to drip out to everybody so that there's an opportunity for this to be a step for people in their professional development as a healer, and the benefits that it can bring to society and to help the medical model, so that we are a very close adjunct for, as Delcia has said, there are many people that come to us as last resort. Well, maybe they should be coming to us as part and parcel of their well-being. And this is an opportunity under supervision to talk about that and to become professional. So the research study that we have got, it's available. If anybody has any questions they would like to ask, or some information they'd like to share or to be involved, please send an email to admin@the-cho.org.uk. And we invite your responses, but my heart is very much to thank everybody here for their support, and there is incredible amounts of knowledge and experience here, and look forward to sharing more in the future.
Thank you for listening.